Good morning everyone and welcome back to Throttle Grotto. Today we're going to go rescue a Datsun Roadster that has been on an island for 20 years. Stay tuned. Everybody, really quick intro. I am running a little bit late. I've got to get to the ferry that goes to the island so I can go pick up the Datsun Roadster. But I'm here at U-Haul and I've got a trailer I got to get loaded up, and I'll catch up with you guys in a few minutes once I'm on the ferry. But I'm in line at the ferry terminal. It's a very short ferry ride, but it's a very expensive ferry ride. For me and the trailer and the truck, to go about 20 minutes on the ferry to pick up this car. It's right there. About $80 to take the ferry with a trailer. Wow. So I came over in the car and it was, I think, less than 20. So a little bit of sticker shock there, but it's a very pretty ferry ride over to Vashon, and then it's a quick drive, about a 20-minute drive to where the Datsun is. So, so the owner's name is Bruce, and the car's been in his family for probably since, I think he said since 1980 something. So it's been in his family for a long time, and so now we're going to finally take it back off the island, which it probably hasn't been for at least 20 years. All right, it is a beautiful day to ride the ferry across to Vashon Island, which is where I'm picking up the car. A lot of you might be asking yourself, or screaming at your computer, "Hey idiot, you already have a Datsun Roadster sitting in the garage." And you're true on both accounts. A, I have a Datsun Roadster sitting in the garage already, and B, I'm an idiot. So why am I grabbing this car? Two reasons. One, I want to do a whole series of videos on this car about bringing a barn find back from the dead. So this is a car that has been, and the tabs on it are 20 years old. It's probably been sitting for at least 6 or 7 years. And I want to go through and do a whole series of videos on each step of bringing this car back to life and getting it back on the road. And two, this is a factory 2-liter Roadster, which are a little less common, a little more valuable, and I can get this car on the road and driving fairly quickly. So that's the reason for this. So this is kicking off this whole series of bringing back a barn find car, or a yard find, or an island find, or whatever you want to call it. So that's the reason for the car. And it'll be fun. I've still never driven a Datsun Roadster, so I will be doing that this summer, along with the Rabbit. The Rabbit's getting close. So it's a little chilly up here on the top deck of the ferry, so I'm gonna head back downstairs where it's actually warm. All right, everybody, we are here, and there has probably never been a more picturesque location to pick up a barn find car than this one. Bruce has a really nice house here out on the island, and this Roadster has literally sat and looked over the water for the past 20 years. So it could be in really bad shape, it could be in really good shape, but we're going to find out here really quick. Like, I've already seen it, but you guys haven't. All right, everybody, I'm here next to the Datsun. It's been covered up with a tarp to keep all the rain off of it. You'll get to see that in a second. But check out the view that this car has had for like the past 20 years it's lived here on the island. So I'm going to set you guys up on the tripod and do some time-lapse stuff while I unearth this Datsun, and then I'll give you guys the tour. I feel like one of those models on TV that, a brand new car! So definitely not a brand new car. So here it is. This is the Datsun. It has been off the road, no tabs, since 2000. The future is now. So it's had a few things done to it. Somebody shaved the hole for the trunk. There's a bunch of Bondo back here and paint that's cracking up. I put these Volkswagen tail lights on it, which I'm not a big fan of. You can see the tires have been here for a hot minute. Especially this one. I don't think we're going to put any air into that one. But here it is. So one of the neighbor's trees actually fell down and landed on the fender and put a big dent in it. All four tires are completely flat. There is the 2-liter motor. The engine compartment is in surprisingly good condition. I'm actually really surprised at how good a shape this is under the hood. So it's got the fiberglass hardtop on it. I'll show you guys the interior later, and I have no idea what's in the trunk because the trunk has been shaved and it has been closed for I have no idea how many years. So I got a box of parts in here. Looks like some old parts that belong to the car, and but I got a lot of work to do, and I've got 4 hours. A little over 4 hours before I have to have the trailer back at the rental place. So I got a lot of stuff to do and a very short time to do it in. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go get the wheels that I got, or actually the wheels that I've had, with new tires, and we're going to get the tires and wheels put on this thing so that it actually sits up off the ground. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if the wheels roll. So that's the first step. So the real test is going to be to see if these wheels actually roll, and they do. Let me check the other side. So if you're dealing with a barn find and you get to this point and the wheels are locked up, unfortunately, you're most likely going to have to pull the wheel and then pull the drums or the rear discs, the calipers off, so that you can get the wheel to free up. In this case, I got really lucky with the rear drums. The wheel actually turns, and that's going to save me a ton of time. I don't know about the fronts yet, but let's get these wheels on here because I think you're going to like them. Alright, so the wheels are on. They're an old set of Datsun SSR Mark IIIs that I've had in boxes for probably 4 years, saving them for a Datsun project. And they fit the car perfectly. Man, the back, I gotta figure out what's going on with the front, but the back, like it sits perfect in the back. I really like how it's tucking that tire inside the fender. So I gotta figure out what's going on with the front, but that's another day. The next thing I have to do before I get this car up that hill and onto the U-Haul trailer, which is up another hill, I have to free up the steering. The steering is locked in position. I can't turn the key and I can't turn the steering wheel. So the nice guys that are here helping and working, helping Bruce work on his stuff, are probably going to tow the car. We're going to tow the car up and get it in position so that I can use the come along and get it up on the trailer. But in order to do that, I have to get this steering figured out. So that's the next project. Alright, so I got the steering column freed up, but what I had to do was remove the ignition lock cylinder and the steering lock, which is actually this little button right here, which I still can't get the tumblers to move, but now that it's off, I can actually like take it to a locksmith or like figure out how to get the, I think if I undo these bolts on this end, this whole assembly will come out and then I can get to the tumblers. But what I had to do was drill off the heads of the rivets that hold the clamp to the steering column. Now, it's going to be super easy to put it back in because these are just actually bolts. So I can replace it with some Allen head bolts and bolt this whole assembly right back onto the steering column once I have this ignition switch freed up. So now the only thing left to do is to load up the extra stuff and then get this thing turned around and pointed up the hill and strapped up to something to tow it up the hill and get it on the trailer and get home. So I'm not doing too bad on time actually. So things are going surprisingly well. This was the last obstacle to getting this car out of here. All right, so as you could see, this was kind of a steep hill getting out of here. Thanks to Bruce for sending me the video that he shot of me getting yanked out of that hole. But the car is up on the trailer. I didn't have the ability to film that part. The people that were helping me move the car up the hill had to go back to work. But it's up on the trailer now. I'm gonna hook up safety chains and then get out of here, because I got less than 3 hours to get this thing unloaded and get the trailer back. So we are all loaded up and I am on my way back to the ferry terminal. Hopefully I don't have to wait a super long time for the ferry. So I'm really happy with how easy this whole thing went as far as getting it rolling and getting it on the trailer and all that. So something to keep in mind if the barn find is that you might not have it as easy as I just did. There could be frozen brake drums, there could be seized calipers, could be a transmission that is stuck in gear. There's a lot of things that can go wrong when you're trying to get a car that hasn't moved in a long time. So take a lot of tools, take a lot of patience, take a lot of penetrating oil. Take more than you think you need to do the job, for sure. All right, the Datsun is now in the garage, safe from the elements, and I have a ton of work to do. And I'm still out of breath from pushing the car. But all in all, successful. I still have an hour before the U-Haul place closes, so I've got to return the trailer. That'll be the end of this episode. So that's the introduction to the Datsun. Next episode, we'll go through and kind of do an overview of the car, and we're going to get into the mystery trunk and find out what kind of surprises are in there, because the trunk probably hasn't opened in at least 5 years. So there could be lots of frightful things inside the trunk. I don't know. There could be a raccoon. There could be all kinds of things. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And until next time, get out there and work on something.